How are we doing, guys? Welcome to a FIFA 21 video. Yes, the majority, well I say the majority, a small portion of the database has been released by EA. We've got the top 1,000 players now, so we can start to build some starter teams properly. None of this messing around, guessing who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, This is going to be possibly the best Premier League starter team you can get for absolute pennies. Now, you'll see why as we go through each of these players. Some of these players are cheap because they're like meme players. Jesse Lingard, Lindelof currently. You know, there's a good chance that some of these players are going to be very, very cheap on release. Now, I know that heading is a big thing, hence why we've got Calvert-Lewin in the side up front. It's just interesting to see because we've waited so long. The demo isn't coming out at all, so there's no demo this year, so we're hoping the game's going to be great. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. We'll wait and see. Anyway, let's start in goal with Guaita, because Guaita's good. If I remember rightly, he's something like 6'3". I've got him on my other screen. He's 6'3". He's obviously got 81 diving, which is great. He's got 80 handling, which is great for a starter card. His kicking's only 77, but I feel like kicking is probably one of the least important stats with goalkeepers. 82 reflexes is great. So if anybody gets through on goal, those one-on-one shots, you know, those headers from close range, he's got decent reflexes for a starter keeper. One of the best reflexes in the Premier League. The only players that have more, Sergio Romero is still in the database, but I'm sure somewhere in the back of my mind he's left United. 83 as well. You've got Dean Henderson, but he is going to be expensive because of the season he had. You've obviously got Nick Pope as well. He's going to be very popular. Jordan Pickford is the other option over Guaita here in goal potentially. But yeah, Guaita's got great stats. 51 speed isn't fantastic, but most of the Premier League goalkeepers are not that quick around the similar sort of ratings. Another player I'd love to look at is Emiliano Martinez in goal potentially. He's 6'5". He doesn't quite have the same stats though that stack up here. Unless he gets an inform or two, Martinez could be someone to watch for sure. We move on to the right back position. So at right back, your main choices were kind of Yedlin from Newcastle, but he's got 92 pace, so he's going to be very, very expensive. Your other choices are Bellerin, but he's obviously a very popular one. Then the higher rated ones with Pacer, Wan-Bissaka and João Cancelo. Doherty might be quite popular, but he's only got 73 pace. You might look at someone like George Baldock from Sheffield United. He has 79 pace. You will notice I am looking away from the screen a little bit because I'm just giving you some of these stats. But Reece James has 80 pace, so he's quick. He's got decent defence and physical for a starter right back. You quite often get wing backs that aren't that good at either kind of thing. So he's got an okay defence and an okay physical. Yeah, he's not going to shoot. His passing's okay as well, 72. Now, let's move on to the centre-back positions, because this is quite an interesting one. There's a lot of choices here, right? Now, Salisu is a very interesting choice, and I'll tell you why, because 67 pace is actually quite quick for Premier League defenders that are going to be affordable. So you've got no one that's close to him. The next closest player to him on pace, you've got Socrates from Arsenal, who could be good, but I feel like he's leaving as well. There was rumours he was going to leave the club. I don't know if he officially has yet or not. Ake obviously has 74 pace, but I feel like he's going to be one of the most expensive defenders because he has 81 defence. Now, Salisu's 67 pace doesn't look good on the card, on the base stat, but unless you get someone like Eric Bailly, he's got 74 pace as well, but again, he's the same rating as Nathan Ake. It's just not easy to get pace players. You might be able to get Soyuncu, but he's going to be more expensive with his 80 defence and 80 fizz. So I think Salisu is a great shout. Now, Lindelof is another player. I think he's going to be a bit cheaper because in real life at the moment, everyone is taking the mickey out of him, right? He's not playing very well. United are struggling. Your other choices around the sort of similar rating, similar pace, you're going to be looking at the likes of Davinson Sanchez, Antonio Rudiger, and then you're up towards Joe Gomez. So you've really only got Rudiger or Davinson Sanchez. Davinson Sanchez has 74 pace, but he was like 40k last year when he was an 83. Obviously, he's an 81 this year, so I feel like Davinson Sanchez will still be about 20k. But Lindelof's going to be cheaper, I reckon. That's my opinion. Again, these aren't like guaranteed prices, anything like that. We'll go to left back. Your main choices are basically, because you want some pace, obviously, in the left and right back area to combat the wingers. You're going to look at Van Aanholt. He's always so expensive, though, because of the fact he has 86 pace. You've got Masuaku. He also has 84 pace. You've got Tierney, who I've chosen. So Tierney has 86 pace, so he's as quick as Van Aanholt. But where Van Aanholt only has 71 physical, Tierney has 80, so he's actually quite strong. I feel like you could get away with a Sentinel early game, and his 86 pace would help. Tierney's obviously a tiny bit taller as well. He's about an inch taller than Van Aanholt. But, I mean, you could look at players like Emerson. Emerson's got 81 pace, but only has 64 physical. Then you've only really got Benjamin Mendy with 80 pace. The Prem's a bit limited for left-backs at the moment. Obviously, you've got Andy Robertson, you've got Luca Digne from Everton, but Digne's got 78 pace, so it's not quite as quick. So I think, Tierney, you can splash a bit of cash there. Let's move into the midfield, right? Some of you are going to look at this and go, who is this guy? Why has he put Lingard in? Look at the stats. Yes, Lingard had an absolute meme of a season last season, scoring one goal in the 98th minute of the last game when he tackled the goalkeeper. That is how bad his season was. I think he had 0 assists as well. So he did really, really badly last year. So I think his price is going to be low based on that. I think he's a non-rare card as well. I think he might be a non-rare. He might be a rare gold, actually. He might be a rare gold. But if you look at his stats, 77 pace is fairly quick for a central midfielder. 74 shooting is fairly good for a starter card. 74 pace is pretty okay for a starter card. 78 dribbling is quite good. And 70 physical isn't actually too bad either. Yes, he's only got 58 defending, but he should have a high work rate, which means he's kind of box to box. So he could be quite decent. I'm not expecting him to cost too much because of the fact he's a bit of a Mickey take player. Someone else to look at is definitely, I think it's John Fleck. John Fleck from Sheffield United. Again, might not look too flashy with his 77 rating, but he's got medium-high work rate. 71 pace is okay for a starter card. He's got decent-ish shooting with 71. It's not fantastic, but he's going to be your holding midfielder. 78 passing is actually pretty good. Dribbling as well is fantastic. 75 fizz, so he's got a little bit of strength as well in the midfield there. He's only 5'7" though, so he's not going to win much in the air if there's a lot of aerials this year. But he's not a bad starter card though for a CDM. If you play 4-2-3-1, which I'm sure everybody will, he's a great holding midfielder. You've got a box to box, and then you've got a cam. So we'll look at Madison, who's a really, really solid card, 81 rated. He looks like a very good investment here, purely because he's got 82 dribbling and 84 passing. So he's kind of your playmaker. He's the guy that's going to make your team tick. I would expect him to do quite well. 4-star, 4-star, high, medium. The pace is okay at 75. Shooting's fairly good at 76. Great dribbling and great passing for starter cards. 84 passing is very good for a starter card. 82 dribble as well on the ball. 4-star, 4-star, high, medium. Great player to have in behind, linking up all the play. Let's move on to the wingers now. So let's start with the right wing. You might sort of go, oh, Minamino. He doesn't really do much, in real life for Liverpool. But that's not that's not what you're looking at. You're not looking at what they do in real life for their performances. So Minamino is, yes, he's only 5'9", but he has pace. Your other options here, Mason Greenwood at right mid. He's only got 81 pace though, and I think Greenwood's going to be really expensive because of the hype around him in real life. You've got Dan James, he's got 95 pace. He's your other option, but I feel that 95 pace will probably make Dan James quite an expensive starter. You could get a Dharma Traore, 96 pace, but again, I think he's going to be a fortune. Your other quick players, Lucas Moura is going to be quite expensive though. Nicolas Pepe. You could try Ferran Torres. He's an 81 rated of 82 pace. But I'm going with Minamino purely because he's a low rated, but that pace will help you out. If you stick a dead eye on him, boost his shooting and passing, he'll become a deadly winger. 82 dribbling's good. Hasn't really got any physical, which is fine. Let's move over to the left wing. Daniel Podence. Now, the reason I chose him is because he has 92 pace. He's one of the fastest wingers, unless you go for Alan St-Maximin. But Alan St-Maximin is going to cost you a fortune because I don't know if he's a 5-star skiller or not. The database is a bit messed up at the moment. I think he was a 5-star skiller, so he's going to cost you quite a lot of money. Just purely for that. Your other fast players, Wilfried Zaha, Marcus Rashford, you've got Steven Bergwijn. You could try Felipe Anderson with 89 pace. You could try Christian Pulisic with 89 pace. I think they're going to be super expensive. Daniel Podence is a player that I think is going to be really cheap. Again, stick a dead eye on him because his shooting and passing's... his passing's 71. It's not great. But 60 shooting is absolutely god-awful. He is a 3-star skiller with a 4-star weak foot, though, I believe. So that's kind of okay. But that might be the database being wrong again. I'm not too sure. But even so, these guys don't really work back. 36 defence, 33 defense. Neither of them have much physical. Podence is only 5'5" as well, but he's going to be really fast, really agile. Now, I've put Calvert-Lewin as my striker purely because he's actually got quite a bit of pace. 83 pace is okay for a striker this year. It's the same pace as like Jadon Sancho, which is, you know, stupid. He's got 76 shooting, which is okay. Pretty good finisher. 80 physical means he's pretty strong. He'll probably have some good physicality, which is great. Good strength and aggression. Maybe some jumping. He should have some pretty good heading. Your other choices for pacey strikers, though, you've got Origi, who's got 82 pace with 76 shooting, but then he's only got 74 fizz. Yeah. Your other pacey players, you could look at Mikel Antonio, but I think he's 2-star, 3-star from what I remember. He's pretty poor. High work rates as well. But he's got 85 pace, 84 physical. So he's a slightly quicker, slightly stronger version of Calvert-Lewin. Your other choices, though, you get very limited very quickly. Richarlison's going to be super expensive because he's a 5-star weak foot. Gabriel Jesus will be expensive because he's an 83. Then you get on to Anthony Martial, Timo Werner, Jamie Vardy, etc., etc. So your best bet is basically Mikel Antonio or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, to be totally honest. I think this is going to be a decent start squad. I can't see it costing too much. Obviously, some players might start off quite pricey. Maybe Maddison, but I don't see this squad being crazy expensive. I think it's affordable by the first weekend league without putting points on, depending on if you get a bit of pat luck in any squad battles, anything like that, or if you do put points on, if you get any luck, maybe aim for this as a starter team. It's going to be strong. The Premier League is going to be an amazing league this year. Do remember, Premier League's always more expensive than most other leagues. Like if you wanted to go like Spanish League or Bundesliga, Bundesliga is normally quite cheap. French League is very cheap. So we'll try and build some like French League starter teams, things like that as well. But this is going to be a really good. I know people are going to go, oh, but it's look at the ratings, they're not very good. But this is going to be a starter team. Week 1, if you go into div rivals with this team, you could have yourself a good advantage. You've got a great midfield, a high, a medium, high, a high, medium. You've got solid defence with quite a bit of pace. You've got a keeper that's got good reflex saves. You've got pace up front, and you've got a finisher that is strong. He's fairly quick. 83 pace, you've got to remember, is quite quick this year on FIFA for a striker. Just remember that. He's like one of the quickest strikers outside of the good players. It's him or Mikel Antonio. They're the only two that are fast. Origi's 82. Everyone else is like really slow, below 80 pace. So have a look. Let me know what you think. Do leave a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Do subscribe if you're new. Leave some comments down below. Would this be a good starter squad? Would you change anything? Do let me know. And I'll see you soon for some more squad builders.